Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this important press briefing by MEC Lebogang Maile. I would like to introduce the front table. Next to me is the head of department, Mr. Bongani Telishi. Next to him is the MEC for Human Settlement, Personal Building and COPTA, Honorable Lebogang Maile. Next to Mr. Maile is Paul Nawa, who's the Chief Director for Back to Basics, and Mr. Mavela Dlamini. MEC, you can start, and then after that we'll take questions.
Yeah, thank you. Can you please close the door? I think the people we want are here. Any other person who's coming now, so that we are not disturbed. We want to thank you all for coming. We know yes. We want to thank you all for coming through, members of the media. I know you have been asking us questions when we're going to deal with this issue and how and all that. So today we are here to answer to you because we have told you that we will definitely do that. So we want to welcome you as we will be announcing the administrator and the team of experts and professionals who are going to help us. As you know, on March 4, 2020, Gauteng Executive Council, and this is important because I know some of you keep on saying Makura dissolves Tshwane. Others say Maile dissolves Tshwane, depending on who's writing. So it's not Maile or Makura, it's the Gauteng Executive Council. We took a principled and decisive decision to invoke Section 139, subsection 1, subsection C of the Constitution to dissolve and place the City of Tshwane Metropolitan Council under administration. It's a decision that's unprecedented, first of its kind in the country. So given the myriad of challenges that beset the city and failure of its council to fulfill its executive obligations in terms of the Constitution or legislation ultimately led to the dissolution of the council. Our decision is explained by Premier Makura when on March 5, 2020, he publicly communicated the EXCO decision to dissolve the municipal council. He said the following, and I quote, "The City of Tshwane has been deteriorating rapidly and is evidently on the decline. Residents are suffering while political parties are fighting in council and in the courts." On the 6th of December 2019, the Provincial Executive Council took a decision to institute Section 139, subsection 1, A intervention by issuing directives about what the city should do to correct flagrant disregard of the Constitution and the law governing the operations of the municipality. Close quote. The decision to dissolve was not taken lightly, but it was based on the following sequence of events, and I will not repeat that because we have dealt with these issues previously, and you have the statement. So those of you who would want them on record, we can repeat them for you, but for the sake of time, I won't. So these and many other factors contributed to the slow pace of service delivery, collapse of governance and leadership lacuna. Thus, it necessitated the provincial government to intervene and act in the best interest of the people before the municipality could implode. During the State of the Province, Premier David Makura aptly captured the central role Gauteng government will be playing to improve the functionality of municipalities in the province when he said, and I quote, "Going forward, we are going to be more proactive and dominant in order to improve oversight and support to municipalities in the province. The cautious approach is not working because things are going wrong in both small and big municipalities, and residents are suffering. Subsequently, on March 6, 2020, EXCO, in terms of, as I've explained this, took the decision, and the EXCO decision is being challenged in court as we speak by the Democratic Alliance, and the matter is scheduled to be heard tomorrow, Tuesday the 24th, 2020 of March. The decision will be defended, and we have assembled a credible legal team led by Advocate Tembegile Gauteng. We will abide by any outcome of the court, but we remain certain that our decision was correct and consistent within the law. If we are committed to turn around the tide, we need a capable, efficient, and ethical local government that serves the residents of Tshwane, irrespective of their political preferences or individual choices. Today, we are announcing groundbreaking steps to restore good governance, quality service delivery, and public confidence in local government system. The residents of Tshwane, particularly the electorate, have been at the receiving end of mismanagement of their metro over the past 4 years. This has placed immense difficulties on this strategic metro, which is the capital city of our country since the democratic breakthrough in 1994. It is prudent that all efforts are made towards reclaiming the metro as a pride of our country by placing all our priorities to improve service delivery and reposition to grow much needed investment geared toward job creation and alleviation of poverty. If we want to make effective changes and improve service delivery for the benefit of our people, we have a clear posture to appoint into the administration task team to bring on board people who are committed, capable, and hardworking, and who have not only integrity but are incorruptible and willing to serve with humility. The team we are announcing today should be aware that the expectations of the people of Tshwane are high, and they should not disappoint in executing their mandate. Their performance, individually and collectively, will be measured on the success of the implementation of their mandate. We will not shy away from recalling anyone for non-performance or incompetence. We have decided to appoint the following people into the team. Mr. Mpo Nawa, who is the administrator, just to make it easy for you as the media, because you want to know that. But there's a team of administrators, and this team is also constituted by Mr. Gilberto Martins. The members of the team are all sitting here in front. Mr. Lifadi Matibinyani, Ms. Rianda Kruger, Ms. Lebogang Maile, Mr. Lisedi Mire, Ms. Tulisi Lenjapa Mashanda. Miss, the name is written wrong there. They're written Masiabata, but it's Masabata. Masabata. Abigail Mutlaneng, Miss Shiva Makotoko, and Mr. Mavela Lamini, who is the acting city manager with effect immediate. He's sitting on the far right there. You'll know that he's a former city manager of the City of Johannesburg, former HOD, Department of Transport, former CEO of the Johannesburg Road Agency, and is an engineer by qualification. So we're not bringing mediocrity or a chance taker. We're bringing seasoned, well-qualified men and women of integrity. And that's why it's 5 women and 5 men to ensure that we move fast. Our mandate is 90 days. We are here for 90 days. And in the 90 days, we will deal with specific issues related to service delivery. I know that there are certain issues like the flood victims in Mamelodi who were affected, and the steps we announced, which were supposed to be undertaken working with the city, but because of non-cooperation on the part of the city, we still have problems. And that's why we will be fast-tracking that issue, the water issue in Amanskral, but we will issue a detailed statement on the program of action related to service delivery and what the city, the team is going to do to fast-track that. So for today, we thought we should announce the team, but also announce the terms of reference. So these individuals have been appointed to execute this task, irrespective of their political affiliation or ideological current. And that's important because in our consideration, we did not look at political affiliations. I know some people have been expecting that intervention and administration means replacing the DA administration with ANC. No, that's not what the Constitution expects of us. The Constitution expects that we put a team that is competent. That's the same condition that the National Council of Provinces and the Minister of COCTA have attached to their concurrence. And we are expected to account to them every month on the work of the team. So we have brought people based on their experience and service, a long service in government. The key scope of work for the team will be as follows. To undertake all executive functions of your municipal council. Undertake all statutory executive functions of the executive mayor. Undertake all fiscal and financial management functions of the municipality, including being signatory on the municipal primary banking account. Implement all governance systems and procedures, including oversight over the administration. Ensure implementation of financial systems and procedures. Approve all decisions taken by the municipal manager or acting manager, as the case may be, and Section 56 managers in terms of delegated or regional authority. Develop a turnaround strategy for the municipality. Implement a system of control and approve all expenditure. Ensure implementation of the Local Government Municipal Property Rates Act, but to also appoint the city manager immediately. In the package we gave you, there's a one-pager which has a summary of all the members of the team, their qualifications and the skills. But if members of the media need any further information or detailed copies of CVs, we don't have a problem. We're at liberty to provide those because, like we said, we want to appoint and deploy people who are going to help us turn things around because things are really bad in this city and we want to fix them and make sure that things get better. We will take questions and take it from there.
Thanks, MEC. Questions from members of the media? Where's number one? Number one. Where's number two? Number two, number three. Yeah, you can start. Please introduce yourself and the institution you come from.
From Sunday Times. MEC, you do say here that there's this pending court case which is going to be argued tomorrow. And then one would say, isn't this that you are raising on today not jumping the gun, given that you don't know what's going to be the outcome of the court case? For instance, there could only be two possible outcomes. Either they affirm the application of the court to introduce whatever will, or they throw it away. In which case, if the former is the case, then this whole exercise would have been futile and useless. What is your take on that? Thank you.
Is that the only question? I thought we'd take.
MEC from ETV News. Speaking to some of the leadership of the DA and was this the only step that could have been taken by the provincial government in terms of placing the municipality under administration? I mean, they make several examples of other municipalities which are struggling as well and are crippled and riddled by maladministration and corruption. So the question would then be, was this the only step that was prepared as a measure to place the city under administration? Thanks.
Number 3.
Mbali from Newsroom Africa. MEC, I just want to find out, when we look at this whole process, should the courts be ruling in your favor? What steps have you taken in terms of holding these by-elections under a time when we are facing the coronavirus? Are you in contact with the IEC? Have they communicated in terms of how will Tshwane try and hold these by-elections under the coronavirus?
Thanks, Vincent.
Is that all? Okay. We are guided by the law. So what the law says is that once we take a decision, we must communicate that decision to the Minister of Culture and the National Council of Provinces, and within 14 days, they must come back to us. And if they don't, within after 28 days, the decision falls away. So they have come back to us, and you'll remember the minister was quick to come back, by the way. She did not wait for 14 days. The National Council of Provinces had to delay because there were hearings that they conducted, and they also invited us to come and explain the rationale of our decision. So once that happens, it means the council is dissolved. So that's what the law says. Once all those steps have been followed, it means the council is dissolved. So when you dissolve council, you cannot have an administrator, because the law also directs the executive council to appoint an administrator. So we have no choice. It's whether we like that decision of appointing or not. So I'm explaining this issue about waiting for the court or not. We will be in contravention of the law if we don't appoint an administrator. So that's the first thing. But the second thing is that because we are confident that we've got a strong case, and that has been demonstrated by the articulation of the National Council of Provinces. And when we looked at the responding affidavits, the affidavits of the DA, we remain more convinced, because one of the issues they are raising is the issue of procedure. So they are saying this is what they will argue in court tomorrow. We should have notified them when we took a decision. So our lawyers are dealing with that issue. The other issue they are raising is that their inability to provide services to the people, and they mention a specific example. It's not executive responsibility, it's administrative. So they are admitting that no, we have not done these things, but the law says they can be dissolved if they fail to execute their executive responsibility. So, because they are chance takers, and I have said this before, because they are bruised as well. This has been a very difficult battle for them. I feel for them. They are badly bruised. If it was a Mayweather and some unknown chap boxing, they would have been knocked out badly. So they are not happy, and therefore they are trying to get all the excuses why we should not dissolve them. Then they are also explaining that no, this is a political, something that I'll come to. This is a political decision and all that. So I might forget the 3 other issues, but there's 5 that they're arguing. When you look at them, because I've read that affidavit, you can see that in terms of the merit of the case, because you can't say, no, it's not executive, not giving people water. And then they are arguing, no, the Hammanskraal issue, it's an old issue. It does not start with us. More reason why they must face the consequences, because if it started long ago, why not fix it? Because when you got there, you found the issue. So I can go in detail about the issues, but I can't because I'm not a lawyer, and they will be arguing tomorrow in court, and we have had an opportunity with our senior counsel to go through these issues, explain where they come from and all that. So from where we're sitting, we're confident that we've got a strong case, and therefore we can't waste time, because the people of Tshwane are not interested in politics. They've been suffering a lot. So if we're going to delay because of the court and then try to explain to people of Amaskral are waiting for water. So the question is, when are we bringing water? We want to answer that question. We no longer want to answer whether it's correct to dissolve or not. So beyond this, we want to answer that question. When are we bringing water to the people of Tshwane? With coronavirus now, it's more urgent than before. And that's why one of the issues we'd have to ensure happens immediately is that there is enough water supply in those areas where there is no water, whilst we are busy dealing with other issues. So that we will ensure happens. So the team will, because I know the municipality is providing tanks in certain areas like Kalinen and all that, but whether those are enough or not, that's something else. So the first order we would have issued publicly is that there must be sufficient water everywhere to be able to deal with the issue of hygiene, coronavirus. We can't just depend on sanitizers. They are important, but as the president has instructed, there has to be water. People must be able to have access and deal with issues of the soap provision and all that. So we will make sure that happens. So that leads me to the next question, whether this was the only step or not. We have said previously and on various occasions, it's not our ambition to run a municipality. We don't want to run municipalities. And I always say this, that in my portfolio, I've got human settlement. One of the biggest problems in the province. We've got 1.2 million people who want houses. We only have a budget to build for 20,000. It's huge. And it's one of my responsibilities. So if I was to think that I will run all these municipalities, then I'll be a fool. We don't want to run municipalities. But at the same time, we've got constitutional obligations. Provide oversight on the municipalities, provide support, and if they're not doing what they're supposed to do, we must act. We have acted. That's the other explanation the DA gives. Very lame and pedestrian explanation. Because when we are a criminal, you don't say, I'm a criminal, why arrest me and not arrest the other criminals? We arrest you. So the DA can't argue like that. You can see, I mean, it's a lazy way of thinking. You can't think like that and explain that there's other. And I want to deal with that issue of other municipalities. The first thing is that you would have seen we intervened in Mfuleni, not just now, not just recently. We have intervened in Rand West, in the West Rand district, even in Mirafong and all that. And we will come back to you, by the way, on all issues in each municipality and what we are doing. The difference between Tshwane and all other municipalities is that all of them have problems. So there's no municipality that does not have a problem. But the difference is that in Tshwane, they don't have the capacity to resolve their problems because they are not able to meet. So if they say Mfuleni meets, the council meets, take decisions, adopt a budget, appointed a municipal manager who started now in December. They could not meet to resolve issues, appoint municipal manager. There is an issue of the adjustment budget and a lot of issues. So they shouldn't say, and that's why I'm making an example of a criminal. They didn't say we are criminals, but don't arrest us before you arrest the other criminals. So we are attending to the other criminals. Don't worry, we are here for you, we arrest you. So they shouldn't compare themselves with the other municipalities and use that as an excuse not to be. We are actually helping them, because after 90 days, who knows, there could be a winner, an overall winner, because I think the people of Tshwane have learned the hard way, and they will most likely vote for somebody who will govern after. So we are actually helping them. But the problem, it's not the reasons that we are giving or that exist. The problem is that the DA has created an impression that where they govern well. So what this does, it demystifies that myth, firstly, but secondly, it deals with their reputation as an organization. And that's why they must find reasons to create an impression that this is a purge, a power grab, all sorts of things that they've used. And that's why they even attempted something illegal that has never happened in the Constitution, to say they pass a vote of no confidence on the MEC of Cooperative, which is myself. MECs are not appointed by the legislature. So it was an attempt to even intimidate me. But unfortunately, they are too weak to can intimidate me. And their tactic is also not scary, you know. So I'm saying that's not the issue. The reason why the DA is arguing the way they're arguing is because they're bruised, like I've said, and their reputation is under severe strain. So that issue of other municipalities, we are acting. In Mfuleni, we did say we're taking over their finances, bringing in a team. We're going to make sure that issues of supply chain, and we are acting. But why dissolve a council that's meeting? So here the council is not meeting, amongst other things. And the council has been complicit. The council, the full council, has been complicit to wrong decisions. Because remember, appointments are made through councils. There's been irregular appointments and all that. So where else is that? And that's why I'm saying it's a very lazy way of and pedestrian of arguing on the DA. It just shows a lack of depth if you were to argue like that. So the by-elections, corona virus, and the IEC, we met with the IEC already. And I think maybe the weakness is that we don't communicate everything we do publicly. And maybe that's one of the things we must consider. Even if you issue a one-pager or two-paragraph, we met with the IEC. We met with the IEC. The IEC has taken us through the process. They are ready. There's resource implications. If there was going to be the issue with corona, they will know how to do. We don't want to pronounce on that. It's not our space. But the National Council of Provinces has also asked us to work with them to look at the implication. At this point, you will know that the national government, led by the president through the Command Council, they are making an assessment on a daily basis, and they will advise us and the IEC on what must happen. But we are working on the basis that there must be elections in 90 days and that the team is here for 90 days. We hope and pray that we do have elections in 90 days because we want the people of Tshwane to have stability.
The last round. 1, 2, 3. You can start.
MEC, I just want to find out what will be key priority areas for the team of administrators. I see there's, you have work already set up for them, and the scope of this work seems to be very huge given the time frame. Will they be able to achieve all of that within the 3 months, or some of the things that they will come up with will be passed down to the next government? And lastly, how much will they be making in the 3 months? Thank you very much.
Fuller once again from ETV News. Maybe just to add on what Colleen just said, what amount of budget will be available for the team of these administrators in terms of spearheading proper service delivery in this municipality, because that's been one of the main concerns, especially by residents on the ground, such as water, electricity, potholes, robots not working, you name it. That's one. And two, maybe, when will they be appointed? Is it immediate? Is it from tomorrow? Is it from next week? Maybe just clarity on that one as well. Thanks.
Sure. Michael Bonkin from ANC. MEC, the DA has previously accused you of, or the ANC of trying to wrestle back power through the back door. You have appointed the former executive mayor of Western District and an ANC employee as the administrator. So isn't that doing just that, what the DA is accusing you of?
Thank you very much. And maybe let me start with the last question. And that's why I said we've given you the summary of everyone's qualifications and experience. There is nobody who does not have political views or a preference. So you might just as well ask everybody in the team what are their political views or preferences. But we are not going to do that because we're not interested in their political preferences. Why are you not asking that you've got other people in the team and what are their political preferences? It might be that you know the Mr. Nawa because he used to be a mayor, but it doesn't disqualify him to work for government or execute any assignment. By the way, he's a chief director for the Back to Basics program in government. And that Back to Basics is about helping municipalities. So he's the right person because that's what he does at work. He gets paid for that. We are not interested in his political views. In government, he's not a politician. He's an administrator, an astute one for that matter. He holds a master's degree, by the way, and he's a PhD candidate. So it's not mediocrity, like I've said. We didn't just pick someone from the street because we like them, because they are ANC. No, we don't work like that. We don't work like that. Remember, they had a bodybuilder at some point in the administration, because that bodybuilder was a DA member. We have a lot of bodybuilders in the ANC, but we know where to use them. We don't use them in the administration. In the administration, we use educated people. We've got skills. We've got experience. He has been working for more than 20 years. He has not just been a mayor. So if they want to pick on him, with pleasure, we don't have a problem. We can prove his qualifications. We can give them those. So not these mediocre appointments they've been making. So we know what we're doing. In this team, there's nobody who has a diploma. No diploma, it's degree and above. The standard is high. There is nobody with a diploma. 2 years, 1 year, 3 months course and what. There is no such a thing. We are not playing, we are serious. So we can't play with the lives of our people. These are serious people. They are very educated. And for them to agree to take this difficult task, they must be supported. They must be congratulated because they've got other things that they're doing. It's not like they're bored, by the way, or they were looking for a job. They didn't apply, these people, for any job. So it's not like they are bored, they were looking for work. No. It's because of their track record. That's why we had to approach them based on their track record. For instance, we said Mr. Mavela Dlamini was a city manager in Johannesburg. He's on semi-retirement. We had to ask him. He's a civil engineer. He's got a solid track record in Johannesburg. When we had the Mayor Masondo there, they were able to tire all the Soweto streets there. You can go on and on. We can give you each one of these people that are here. They are not chance takers. So the DA can try on that one because they are politically bankrupt and want to play politics. One of the things they are doing now is to send SMSs to the citizens to say councillors have been removed, it's illegal, they must have 5 years, but they're going to court. You can see these people have not taken this thing well. If DA was a person, I think DA would be physically paralyzed. What Malula calls what he says paraplegic. That's what they will be. Because this was a heavy blow. You won't understand. That's why I'm trying to bring the Mayweather thing. If you were to be punched by Mayweather, you will never recover easily. And that's what happened to the DA. So they're still dizzy, if you ask me. So they can say this is not a problem. And they can even challenge it in court and say we have appointed people who don't qualify. If there's anybody who doesn't qualify, and that's why this is not a secret, we're making a public pronouncement because we have nothing to hide. Otherwise, we could have spoken about confidentiality, government, this and that, and all that stories, and not give names. We're giving names, their qualifications, and they are not obliged to be part of this team, but they have agreed. So I'm dealing with this issue of the DA in detail because I don't want it to come again. Because somebody might come and say there's somebody from EFF in the team. We don't know who's who. Yeah. If we're to see members of the team in an EFF rally, we are not going to chase them because they were in another political parties, even here in the municipality. One of the things we've said, by the way, and this is important, no one is going to lose their job simply because there's an administration. They were in the previous term. No one is going to lose their jobs here. But of course, people must do what they're supposed to do. If they don't work, definitely they will be attended to. But they are not going to be targeted simply because they belong in a certain party or they were appointed in the previous administration. Something that the DA did, and that's why we have a problem, because we lost institutional memory. You come here, you page people who are professionals, you lose institutional memory. And that's what we should learn from these coalitions, amongst others, that this thing of paging people and using politics to run government doesn't help. So we are certainly not going to be that. So you can make a headline that says former ANC mayor appointed in Tshwane. It's not a problem, he's a former mayor. I don't know if he's still an ANC member. I hope he is. Because I want more people in the ANC, of course. But I'm not interested in that. We didn't ask anyone. You can ask them, they're here, if we have asked for party membership. We don't work like that in the ANC. I know we are always projected as people who are reckless, cadre deployment, this and that. And we have said this to the DA in the legislature, that you yourselves are trying to deploy cadres. Konagima Mtakola, Mike Moriarty could not qualify because the requirements. They wanted to make him a city manager in Johannesburg. I did not tell them that he did not go to school, he's not educated. They discovered later during the process. You know, so in the ANC we ask you, hey, we have learned the hard way because we did mistakes. We appointed people who are not qualified previously, who never told us. So if you say you are qualified, and then we are sure. So don't worry about us. We will never appoint wrong people. The scope is huge, you are right, because the municipality is huge. This is a 39 or 40 billion budget municipality. This budget is bigger than budgets of other provinces. I can think of Free State, Northern Cape. It's big. It's like you're running a province here. So that's why we also brought a big team. But not just a big team, a team of qualified, educated people who went to school, who are not scared of going to school. And because we also want to encourage others who are in the system, go to school. If you go to school, you will be part of this team next time. That's the only thing. You don't have to join an ANC branch. That's not enough. For you to be here, go to school. That's what we're saying. And then, how much will they be paid? You see, they will be paid. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that there is they will be paid. So they are not volunteering. This is their time, like I said. So it's important for the media. So it's Ngari is a scoop. Hey, they are going to be, it's not a scoop. They are going to be paid because everyone who does work in government gets paid. So that's the first thing. But the second thing is that they are going to be paid based on the legislated and regulated amounts in government. So there's not going to be any payment that will be made outside the law or outside regulation. And the head of department is dealing with that. Some of them will be paid through the municipality. When people go to meetings, they will need transport. Well, some of them are in government as we speak now, who are, for instance, Masawata is a DDG, Deputy Director General in Gauteng Department of Infrastructure. She's a PhD candidate as well, by the way. So just to show you that we are serious. She's got the master's, she's an accountant, so it's not chance takers. So we will pay them, and they will be paid within the required, it's not millions, don't worry, because we always worry about, and they are not going to take for themselves. It will be determined by us, me and the HOD. So if there's any, if we are paying them a lot, it's not their problem. You must come to me, it's me and the HOD. So if you hear that we are paying them a lot, don't ask them. Bona, they don't ask us how much you must pay, we're paying them. So if it's a lot, they will be lucky. But we are not reckless and irresponsible. We will never do, but it must be something that is also in line with their qualifications. As I've said, and I was demonstrating that here we've got people who are educated, so you need to pay them what educated people deserve, not as if you just picked people from the street there who don't have anything to do. So how much the budget set aside? There is no specific budget for the team. And maybe I must also explain that this team is not just for Tshwane. Once they finish here, we're still going to negotiate with them and ask them to help us in other municipalities, because we've got problems. So the Department of Cocta in the province has a budget, and in that budget there's items like municipal support, and fortunately we're given additional money. So I will give the budget vote and explain how much we're using for municipal support, not for Tshwane team. No, there's no such municipal support, which is what we're giving to the municipalities. So don't worry about that issue. We will answer it, and the good thing about it is that government information is public, so we will be asked, and they've taken over today. As we speak, they're in charge. They can chase you out if they want. So you must be nice to them and don't ask about their salaries and all that. You might irritate them. So they are in charge. As we speak, yeah, everything. They are in charge. And that's why after a year they will meet with the head of police and deal with other issues and all that. Because they are in charge as we speak. Yeah, I dealt with the DA issue extensively, and I'm sure you are happy that we have dealt with that issue. Thank you.
Last round? Okay, in the absence of the last
Thank
round,
you.
the press conference is over. But
Okay, the team members can come here so that you can see them. You must not think that we are lying when we are saying we have appointed people who are educated. You can see even how they look and walk. They are very educated. You don't want people who are not educated. They are tired.